Vietnam has slowly become one of Asia's manufacturing hubs. It is now home to some of the world's largest foreign investors, producing and exporting brands and products from Samsung, LG, Intel, Toyota, Sumitomo Electric, and a long list of other major businesses. These have all helped make Vietnam to where it is today, an export-oriented manufacturing hub. In 2022, the country exported over $399 billion, making the country the 19th largest globally. That is a stunning growth considering that in 2010, Vietnam was exporting no more than $72 billion in merchandise. So, what is the underlying impact of being a manufacturing hub to Vietnam's economy? And how did we even get there? Well, let's start from the very beginning. Vietnam's manufacturing sector growth traces back to the country's Doi Moi reforms in 1986. The reforms transitioned Vietnam from a centrally planned economy to a market-oriented one, addressing the severe socioeconomic crisis faced by the country post-war. Key policies included the reduction of subsidies, promotion of exports, and the expansion of industrial autonomy, which collectively fostered economic stabilization and growth. From the mid-1980s onwards, Vietnam adopted a strategy that combined industrialization with modernization. This shift led to substantial industrial growth, focusing on both important substitution industries such as electricity and mechanics, and export-oriented sectors like electronics, textiles, and food processing. The 1990s saw Vietnam reaping the benefits of its economic reforms. The country experienced a surge in foreign direct investment, FDI, which played a crucial role in the development of its manufacturing sector. Key industries such as textiles and garments, electronics, and footwear began to flourish. The Vietnamese government actively encouraged foreign investments through favorable policies and incentives, creating industrial zones and export processing zones to attract multinational corporations. A key part of Vietnam's manufacturing rise is electronics. In the late 1990s, as part of the broader trend of globalization, many companies sought to relocate their product facilities to countries with lower manufacturing costs. Vietnam, with its low labor costs and favorable investment climate, emerged as an attractive destination. Japanese electronic companies were among the first to invest in Vietnam, with Sony establishing a factory near Ho Chi Minh City, HCMC, in 1994. This was a significant milestone, marking the beginning of a new era for Vietnam's electronics industry. Vietnam's electronics industry is geographically concentrated in two major regions, the northern provinces of Bac Ninh, Thanh Nguyen, and Hải Phòng, and the southern provinces including HCMC and Binh Duong. The northern hub is dominated by mobile phone and phone part manufacturers, particularly South Korean giants like Samsung and LG, along with their suppliers. The southern hub focuses more on electrical products and parts. The industry is predominantly driven by foreign invested enterprises, FIEs. Although FIEs make up only about one-third of the total number of electronics enterprises, they account for a staggering 99% of the sector's exports. Samsung Electronics Vietnam, for instance, is the largest player, contributing to 27.6% of the national export value in 2018. The dominance underscores the crucial role that foreign investment plays in Vietnam's electronics industry. Samsung's investment in Vietnam has been particularly transformative. The company established its first factory in Bac Ninh in 2008, followed by a second one in Thanh Nguyen in 2013. These factories have not only boosted Vietnam's export revenues, but also created thousands of jobs, fostering economic development in the region. Samsung's presence has also attracted a host of suppliers and ancillary industries, attributing to the overall growth of the electronics sector. Intel's decision to set up a $1 billion assembly and test plant in Ho Chi Minh City's Saigon High-Tech Park in 2010 marked another significant milestone. This plant is Intel's largest worldwide and plays a crucial role in the company's global supply chain. The investment has helped elevate Vietnam's status as a key player in the global electronics industry and has spurred further investments in high-tech manufacturing. LG's investment in Haiphong has also been substantial, focusing on the production of home appliances, mobile phones, and automotive components. The company's operations have further diversified Vietnam's electronics manufacturing base and have helped in creating a robust ecosystem of suppliers and support industries. Vietnam's accession to the World Trade Organization, WTO, in 2007 was a pivotal moment that further integrated the country into global value chains. This membership provided Vietnamese manufacturers with great access to international markets and more robust legal framework for trade and investment. It also necessitated the adoption of international standards and practices, enhancing the competitiveness of Vietnamese firms. Although electronic manufacturing was significant, we can't forget about the textiles and garments industry, as they too emerged as one of the pillars of Vietnam's manufacturing sector. This is a trend led by Nike and Adidas, the American and German footwear giant. By the early 2000s, Vietnam had become one of the world's leading exporters of garments. The industry provided millions of jobs, particularly for women, and contributed significantly to the country's export revenues. This growth was supported by the availability of relatively low-cost labor force and the establishment of efficient supply chains. Then we also saw the rise in major automotive manufacturers such as Toyota, Honda, Ford, Nissan, and Kia in Vietnam. This has also fueled the growth of spare parts suppliers. Vietnam ranks among the 4 largest automobile manufacturers in Southeast Asia, catering to both domestic and international demand. Investors in this sector can capitalize on the growing middle class and increasing demand for private vehicles. Official forecasts predict that between 500,000 and 550,000 vehicles will be sold annually by 2025. Additionally, Vietnam has opened its first domestic automobile factory, VinFast, which has officially inaugurated by Vingroup in June of 2019. Today, Vietnam's manufacturing sector is not just a small regional player, it is a big one. In 2020 alone, the manufacturing sector accounted for over 58.2% of the total foreign direct investment, FDI, in Vietnam in 2020. This showcases just how attractive manufacturing is in Vietnam. In 2021, the manufacturing sector contributed 25.1% to Vietnam's GDP, a substantial increase from 13.7% in 2015. This sector also represented 95.1% of the total export volume in 2020, up from 81.8% in 2011. Apparel, garment, textile, and footwear is dominated by companies like Nike, Adidas, and Puma. They employ about 63,000 people. Nike alone has over 200 manufacturing plants in Vietnam and made up to 50% of its brand's total footwear goods in 2020. Adidas has around 76 factories and produces 44% of its production in the country. Globally, Vietnam is the 6th largest apparel exporter, holding a 2.8% share worldwide in the clothing export market. This sector in 2021 exported goods over $39 billion with major markets including the USA and China. The electronics industry, on the other hand, had an export value of over $96.9 billion in 2019, a huge increase from 2015 when it just exported $47.3 billion. Vietnam is also the 2nd largest global exporter of mobile phone products, with an export value of $50 billion in 2019. Of course, these are mostly dominated by no other than Samsung. So, what are the lessons here for other developing countries? Can, for instance, African countries follow Vietnam's manufacturing playbook? Well, according to a Brookings article, they stated that there are 6 ways for the countries to do this. The first is to enhance trade liberalization. Vietnam has actively pursued trade liberalization, signing 16 bilateral and multilateral free trade agreements, including the Comprehensive and Progressive Agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnership, CPTPP. These agreements have reduced tariffs, attracted foreign investments, and anchored necessary domestic reforms. Other developing countries can similarly integrate into the global economy by pursuing trade agreements that open their markets and attract foreign investments. A key element of Vietnam's success is its investment in education and skill development. The country is focused on ensuring access to primary education and maintaining high standards in the 2015 OECD Program for International Student Assessment, PISA. Vietnam ranked 8th out of 72 countries. Developing countries should prioritize educational reforms and vocational training to build a skilled workforce capable of supporting advanced manufacturing industries. Vietnam has made significant strides in improving its business climate, as evidenced by its higher rankings in the World Economic Forum's Competitiveness Index and the World Bank's Ease of Doing Business ranking. Reducing bureaucratic red tape, lowering corporate taxes, and simplifying business regulations can make developing countries more attractive to investors. Investing in infrastructure, particularly in power generation and transportation, has been crucial for Vietnam. The country has scaled up its power capacity and developed seaports and marine terminals to support its growing manufacturing sector. Developing countries should focus on building and improving infrastructure to facilitate efficient production and export processes. Vietnam has leveraged its demographic dividend and low labor costs, but has also recognized the importance of moving up the value chain. The country has invested in high-tech industries and focused on capturing more value locally. Developing countries should aim to diversify their manufacturing sectors and encourage high-value, technology-driven production. But anyway, do let us know what you think down in the comments section below. Thanks for watching.